Nigel says it feels for the first time in years at Norwich City we have a proper coach and a decent team. Welcome back to Where Canaries Walk. It's 20 minutes of Norwich City chat, and we've got some three very happy Canaries with us this week. Delighted to have Matty, Killian, and of course Tom back with us to review the Pompey game. What a difference a week makes in football. Last week we were sat here scratching our heads over that puzzling Millwall performance, and here we are 7 days later with a League Cup win in the bag and a victory at Pompey, which, to be fair, not many teams won away at Fratton Park last year. So let's get straight into it, shall we? We've also got the Middlesbrough game to preview as well. We're talking about the home kit, and we're looking back at the players we've lost this summer and looking back at whether the club have dropped any balls on any of that. Tom, great to have you join us on this one. You were in that away end yesterday. You still got your voice, yeah? Just checking.
Just about. I've got a bottle of water and 3 other drinks next to me in the hope that it holds up.
Right. First of all, let's just clear up the penalty before we get into let's do all the little negative bits, shall we? First of all, we'll talk about Vlad in a minute. But Tom, Matty, for you, clear penalty. But are we over egging the fact that it was a good save? It was a poor penalty, wasn't it?
Oh, it's like Roy Keane. It's a good save. It's a decent save. It's a crucial save at the time in the game, so I'll pick him up.
Okay, I'm going that it's a 50-50. If he goes the right way, he saves it. But okay, yeah. All right. Let's start there then, shall we? Then Killian. Yeah, let's start with Big Vlad. Yeah, one word. So it's class. Yeah, I'm going to miss not moaning about goalkeepers this season with you, to be honest. If this is the way it's going to go, how good was he, Killian?
Well, I mean, I've never seen a transformation in a player because I thought he was pretty poor against Millwall and I was quite worried. And then Grimshaw did well against Watford and I was almost hoping he'd be in, but Vlad was incredible. Dominated his box, world-class save in the first half. And then, not only did he save that penalty, he caught the ball. There's not many keepers catch a ball from a penalty and it wasn't straight at him. So, yeah, I thought he was great. And it bodes well for the season.
I mean, as good as the game was, and great goals, by the way, some terrible Pompey defending, Matty. They like to put you through the ringer, don't they? I mean, Edwards said, my heart won't last a full season of this, because at 70 minutes, for some reason, you started to stop playing, allow Pompey to get back in it, which is the Norwich of old, isn't it? When will we see a Norwich team completely dominate a game for 90 minutes and not give you guys heart attacks, do you think?
It wouldn't be Norwich, I don't think. If we didn't, I reckon it's it's kind of just the Norwich way, really. But we were good first half. It was a bit like it had shades of the Watford game actually. From last week, we were good in the first half, and then the second half, the opposition either were better or we were poor, or maybe a bit of both. Tom, you said sort of just as the second half started, like they're going to come out the traps, flying out the traps, and they did, and we just about held them off for, I don't know where I got like 10 minutes of added time. Tom and I were a bit nerdy and counting down the minutes on our phone, weren't we?
Oh, you were counting up and I was counting down. But I think, and my hat goes off to Liam Manning for yesterday, really, because last season he took a Bristol City side there who got absolutely thumped and played off the park and was a complete no-show by all accounts. So I think for him to go there and set us up the way that we did and come flying out the blocks like we did, and only 5 teams beat them there last season, so it was that they relied on their home form last season to stay up, and Fortress Fratton and all the rest. I've got a chap at work who's a Portsmouth fan, and when the fixtures came out he said thanks for the 3 points. And Portsmouth at home last season and Norwich's form last season, that's what you would have expected it to be. So yeah, the fact that we absolutely went flying at them first 20 minutes gave everybody a bit of confidence. But yeah, of course, it wouldn't be Norwich if we just decided to open the trap door from 70 minutes onwards.
Yeah, and look, what we're talking 3 games in, aren't we? The conditioning is not going to be perfect, and that was the point of view made by some. It was a good start with a poor finish. Either the players need better conditioning, more killer instinct, because you can't live dangerously like that. I hope the bench could be better to cover the shortfalls in conditioning that we seem to have. Mentally, we need to be stronger. Killian, do you agree with these points here?
I think we've seen it twice this week. A lot of mental strength to stay ahead. Obviously there was a little bit, we rolled our luck a little bit. But I think to me, we were the team that dropped the most points from winning positions last season. So definitely that would have happened twice this week. We've managed to hold on, which I think is a real credit to Liam Manning and the team. And I think we had a pretty strong squad who clearly are mentally stronger than they were now. Again, my heart is not the same, and I wouldn't like that every week. I really thought we were going to continue lashing the goals in. We got such a strong start. I think we should have been at 4-0 by halftime, and we weren't. So I think that's, to me, I don't really mind what we do in the second half as long as we kill the game off early.
Yep. And another one for Sargent, and it's, what are we now, August 17th, 18th, and still here. Let's just put him in the cupboard for 2 weeks. And
don't say it. Yeah.
Okay.
I think all of our hearts will break if on the 31st of August at 8:20 p.m. the bid breaks, and we've got no time to replace him.
I'd love my club, Everton, to sign him. Sorry. I think he would do a job in the Prem. Sorry. Whisper that loud. Right, Tom, last week these guys made their predictions, so you need to make yours, if that's okay. Nodge says, if we can perform over both halves, we'll make playoffs easily, because that second half drop-off has killed us for 3 seasons now. We have the personnel, but some players just aren't up to speed yet. So, based on that and what you've seen so far, Tom, number 1 to 24, please, if that's all right.
I said to my dad 4th, but I don't know whether it was tongue-in-cheek or not. But I think for me, if we break it down into sort of where the international breaks are, we've got to set ourselves targets for the September and the November, and then see where we are for Christmas. But yeah, he's right that they're right. Sorry, that the last few seasons we've hit January and just plummeted. So I don't know if that's attributed to not bringing in any additional quality in January, player injuries. I know we've had a lot of injuries in previous years, but I think the amount of money that they've given Liam and his team this year, 11 new players so far, they've got to be pushing top 6 for me.
Okay. All right, then on to Borough we go then, Matty. Got to come to you for this one, because obviously it's your local connections and everything. Rob Edwards has started really well, though. 2 wins. He's beaten Swansea and he's beaten Millwall. So if the triangle of football is correct, they should beat you, shouldn't they?
Yeah, it's a strange one because they got battered midweek at home to Doncaster Rovers. And you just think, well, 4-0 defeat against a team lower in them than the pyramid, and then I was expecting them to go to Millwall and lose as well. So when I saw that they'd won there, I was really shocked. So I don't really know what to expect, really. We'll be up for it. We'll be buoyant off the back of those 2 wins that we've had. You know where I'm at with this one. I'd love a win, but I think I'd take a draw at the moment, given how well they've started. I know it's really early days, and you kind of form isn't there yet, but there's obviously a bit of momentum that they've got, certainly in the league fixtures and the scoring goals. So and in the league games, they've not conceded either. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out from a perspective of we've conceded goals in both of our league games and in the League Cup, and they haven't conceded any in the league. So it'll be a really interesting one. And it could even be a 3-3 like last year at Carrow Road. I wouldn't write that off.
Yeah, that was the game of the season last year, wasn't it, on a Sunday afternoon at Carrow Road. Killian, Middlesbrough becoming a bit of a bogey side for you. You've not beaten them in the last seven fixtures. Although there was 2 draws last year. Do you see putting that one to bed on Saturday?
Yeah, I do. I think we might just shade it. Maybe that's just blind optimism, but I think we've obviously got the Millwall game out of our system. I really hope and think that the crowd at Carrow will really get behind the team and lift them. Some of the players, are really starting to come good. Some probably still need a little bit of more match fitness, but I think definitely we're sharper against Pompey than we were against Millwall.
Okay. All right, then let's leave the football there for 1 second. Over the next couple of weeks on this channel, we'll be looking at the transfer window, of course, and it starts now by looking at the players which have gone. We need to say, official good luck to those people we want to wish good luck to, and for those we don't, well, we'll just wish them farewell. So this is obviously what's reported on transfermarket.com, so it might not be fully up to date here, but Johnny Rosamose, 14 million euros. Saints, of course, 13. Angus Gunn is out the window, has gone as well to Forest. Sorensen, Hills, others there. Tom, are there any on that list, Tom, that you'd expected the club to have fought a little bit more for, or do you think could have done a job for you this season?
I think perhaps Brad Hills is probably the only one. A promising academy product at centre half. Had a good loan spell at Stockport last season and looked to be in and around it for the pre-season friendlies. But then we do have, 5 or 6 centre halves that would all fancy a game, and only two or three of them will get one. So I think he's probably the only one on that list for me. I think Rowe was already gone last season, so that was a loan with a view to buy, and Signs was out the door on the 1st of February when he didn't get sold in January. So as were his performances. So yeah, I think for me we've had a really good summer in I use the word transition of the squad. So yeah, so far so good.
Mm-hmm. Just on the Saints one, Matty. I mean the fee there of 13 million euros, how accurate that is, but do you think it was about right in the end for a player of his qualities, or do you think it was a bit low?
Ever so slightly low, maybe. But listen, when, as Tom just said, with Marseille having the obligation to buy on Johnny Rowe, despite the fact that they've tried countlessly to get out of that, and Saints going, when you put the two together, irrespective of whether Saints maybe we could have got a tad more for him, I think the contract situation was probably the biggest factor there. With all of those players that have come in, with those two fees that are out, or rather that we've got for those players going out, I think it's still a positive net spend. So it just goes to show that the recruitment, in a post Stuart Weather and I forget the name, was it Kieran Scott? I think the fellow who went to Middlesbrough. And post that sort of world where we bought players in very, very cheaply off for free and got decent whack for them. It's good to see that we're still able to do that because as Tom said, we brought in a lot of new players, and I reckon if we keep Sargent, and it is an if, but this might be one of our best transfer windows in a hell of a long time. So very, very pleased with the outgoings and the incomings. Incoming, is that a word? It can be. It is now.
We'll go for it. Killian, any on there for you that I know you love? You talk to. I think you probably talked to all these players, haven't you? Have you?
Yeah.
Previous meetings. Any good eggs in there we should have kept?
I mean, from a footballing point of view, I don't think so. I mean, I think O'Neill was obviously a lot of fans were sad to see him go, just as an ambassador for the club and somebody who literally wore the canary on his shoulder. But from a footballing point of view, I concur with Tom. A little bit surprised at Brad Hills, but we're bringing in a lot of new strong players, so not really. I think it was time to move on. I wish them all well. I think they're. I'd like to see them all do well where they've landed.
Okay. No one's going to miss Sorensen then, no?
I think he was, blimey, I think he was probably 3 years past his sell-by date when we signed him. No, unfortunately for him, he was quite injury prone, and the Danish revolution that was last season probably saw a resurgence for him, but I think he probably should have gone 2-3 years ago.
Yeah. It was tongue-in-cheek to ask that because the number of tweets we had on the screen last year about, never play Sorensen again, etc. Right, okay. Also over the next coming weeks, we're doing the kits, as promised last week. So we're starting with the home kit this week. Where do we rank this one in terms of our favourites? I mean, Killian, there's not much you can do with a Norwich home shirt, is there? Let's be honest. It's all yellow and then a bit of green and that. But in terms of the design and the trims, are you happy with it?
Yeah, I like it, I have to say. I mean, obviously we've had stripes going each direction every other way over the last couple of years. But I like this one. I'm not sure about the quality of it, though, material-wise, but the design is nice.
Yeah.
A couple of stats, haven't you, Killian, on yours?
The switch?
You've had a couple of snags already, haven't you? You just sent out the quality. Yeah.
That's because you haven't taken it off since you bought it, Killian.
The one thing that's still happening, which is pure gold, is that every time I go through the security scanner in Dublin Airport, the badge sets off the scanner. So pure gold in the badge. I don't know what it is.
Something going on there. Tom, you're modelling one of the more famous Norwich kits. Where does this one rank for you in terms of your favourites?
Yeah, I think it's probably the best one of a bad bunch, I think, from Joma so far. So yeah, it's not been a great collection from them so far for home shirts anyway.
Yeah, Matty?
I love it. I think it's brilliant. I think maybe Joma haven't given us the best kits, but it's got there's a retro sort of vibe to it. It's simple and minimal and clean, which I really, really like. So in terms of out of Joma's recent batch, it's the best, and actually I think it's probably one of our nicest ones in quite a while. So big fan of the collar, as well as Killian's modelling very beautifully.
Very nice.
Yeah, I mean, there's only you and Swansea that use Joma for kits, and they also was saying a little bit kind of like, well, not really much you can do, and it's a little bit safe and things. But yeah, go to Hummel next year. They make amazing kits for Coventry and Sunderland. Right, brilliant. Thank you very much for that. Let us know in the comments what you think about the home one. Next week, of course, we're chatting about the Middlesbrough result and, of course, the away kit, of which there's been some shockers in the past. So do put in the comments which of the away kits have been the worst, and we'll bring some of these up next week. And also we'll look, of course, at the transfer window incomings as well. So join us for that. Right, you three, enjoy your game against Middlesbrough. We'll see you for the next one in 7 days' time. Have a great week, everyone.
See you then.
Thanks for watching.
Cheers.